welcome to Pots, Pans, Pioneers. Today I'm going to do a ham and potato, cheesy ham potato bake. This is just a simple supper and nothing fancy at all. This is very easy to do. I have about a tablespoon and a half of butter, and we're going to melt this down. I've got this on a low heat. I don't have a can of cream of chicken, so I'm going to make my own. I have this recipe already on my blog, a video, so if you want to know how to make cream of mushroom, cream of chicken, cream of celery, whatever, it's on the list. But this is how, when I don't have a can of cream of chicken, this is what happens. So I'm melting some butter and get that melted down. Okay, our butter's melted. So now I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of flour. I'm going to start with a little roux. And don't let this get dark at all. Make sure it's yellow, or make sure it's real creamy. Don't let this turn any kind of color. The next thing we're going to do is add a little bit of milk, and I'm just using organic milk. And we're going to let this come up to temperature. Right now it's getting ready to make cream gravy. But we're going to turn this into a cream of chicken here in a second. Now that's just whole milk. You could use heavy cream or you could use half and half. That's just adding extra fat, and I've already got a lot of fat in the butter, so I don't need to do that. We're going to bring this up a little bit till it gets a little heavier. And right before it starts to take off and boil, we're going to pour in some chicken broth. Now I made I made chicken salad yesterday, so I boiled 2 chicken breasts with all of the herbs and everything in it. So this is just what is left over from boiling those 2 chicken breasts. Okay, so it's a half a quart of chicken stock. You can use off-the-shelf chicken stock if you choose. That's fine with me. No big deal. Shouldn't change it at all. And this is cold because I've had it in the refrigerator, so it's going to have to heat all the way back up. And I want all those spices in there too. It's a great way to use your rest of your chicken broth. Make chicken salad. And you'll always have ready to go chicken broth, always ready to go. Chicken broth will last about probably up to 7 days in your refrigerator. If your refrigerator has got a good temperature, it'll last. You can use it for tons of different recipes. And we're just going to let this come up to a real good boil. It's going to start to thicken up, and then we're going to have our cream of chicken already ready to go. Now, this is probably more than I need in this recipe, but you know, I always quickly make it on hand. I don't necessarily keep a can of cream of chicken in my pantry. They load it down with sodium, and I don't really like a lot of sodium in my soup, so this is the way of me controlling that. Okay, we're going to let this come up to a little bit of almost a boil, and we'll be back in just a second. Okay, our cream of chicken is ready to roll, and it's thick enough. Has a really good smell. I don't want to taste it because I don't want to burn myself, but I've made this so much I know this is going to be really good. The only thing I would add, but I'm not going to add it right now, is some parsley, because I really think the parsley does it justice. So I'll do that to the batch that's left over, and then I'll refrigerate it because I'll use this for yet another recipe. So let's move over to the casserole. Okay, so I have shredded potatoes here. You can buy the 1 pound bag of shredded potatoes from the grocery store. This is a little bit left from there, and then I have 5 medium-sized yellow gold potatoes that I shredded to go along with it. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of garlic powder. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of dehydrated onions. You can use fresh onions if you want to. I'm going to sprinkle some shredded parmesan, romano, and asiago cheese in here. Then we're going to add about a half a cup of sour cream. We're going to mix this together. Now you could add broccoli or peas if you choose. You're going to want to add 1 can of cream and chicken soup, or you're going to use a 1 1/4 cups of homemade cream of chicken. We're going to pour that in here. Okay. Mix it really good together. And then we're going to add in, I've got probably 3 ham steaks that I've cut up, and I've just rough chopped it. But let's add our cheese first. So I'm going to do about a cup of cheddar jack. And I have some Gouda, and I'm just gonna, they're slices, and I'm just gonna pinch them off because this is gonna melt really well. So probably 2 to 3 slices of Gouda. You could also use Velveeta, but remember Velveeta is really salty. So if you add Velveeta, you're going to want to hold back on the salt everywhere else. And make sure your ham's not too salty, because then that's all you'll have is salty ham. Okay, we're going to mix this together. I've got the oven on 350. And then let's go ahead and add in our ham. And this is just, again, a rough chop. Let's mix it all up. Okay, then we're going to take our little 9 by, or I think it's maybe 6 by 9, maybe 9 by 9 casserole dish. I've sprayed it with some non-stick cooking spray. We're going to pour this in. Sorry about that. Okay. Then we're going to take, let's see, and we're going to sprinkle some potato chips on top. But if you don't have crispy potato chips to put on top, you could use breadcrumbs. And I'm just going to crunch up some potato chips. And then we're going to have another layer of our cheddar jack. When there's ham, you can never have enough cheese, at least for us. Okay. We're going to bake this for 40 minutes on 350. And I'm using a convection oven. So if you have a standardized oven, you're probably going to want to check it at about 40 minutes and see if you can put a spoon through it easily if it's browned on top and melted cheese. So I'm going to cover this with aluminum foil, and we'll be back when it's out of the oven. Alright, our potato and ham cheese casserole is complete. I hope you'll try this recipe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Have a blessed week.